Welcome back to Precision Trader University. Once again, in today's video, I want to take you through the market, show you how you could have made a very, very high probability in the market today using the best tools, best trading tools that the market provides us with. So, with that said, we're going to start off with Bookmap today. Bookmap, if you're not familiar with it, by far the best order book in all markets. Again, this allows you to see where the majority of buyers and sellers, the liquidity is sitting in the order book and at what price it's sitting at, ready to be filled. And why is this a superior advantage? Because we know the market loves to gravitate to large levels of liquidity. And when it gets to those large levels of liquidity, we have three strategies that allow us to take advantage, give us a superior advantage over the market. So not only do the strategies allow us to, one, play to it, and then two, once it gets to it, take advantage of some easy money in that area. So we're going to start with Bookmap today. We had some really nice entries in the server today. If you haven't got a chance to get over to the server, I got hundreds of trades using these strategies, these three powerful Bookmap strategies, and also the strategies that we have from our indicator course to 2.0. Including by far the most powerful price action strategy in the stock market. If you do not know about this price action strategy, you're missing out big time. So with that said, feel free to check out the server. You got all the trades there. I open up the channels, the 2-day trading channels every single day for people to be able to see those entries and exits with a screenshot. Again, you can't edit a screenshot. Again, this comes out, you can look at the timestamp, see, again, this is there's no hiding the truth with what we're doing here. So let's jump into Tesla. Beautiful start to the day here. Monster liquidity sitting down here at 280, 218. And again, for our strategies, we're always identifying the major liquidity. So always want to come in here to the $5 increments. Where is my major liquidity for the day? All right, within $5, $10, $15, $20 away, where's the major stuff at? Well, in Tesla's case, monster liquidity sitting up here at 30. So what is our bias? Now there's good liquidity sitting down here at 210 as well. So it could have went at 218 this morning where it started. It could have went either way. Our bias was to the upside just because it was sitting on top of this monster liquidity here at 218. So until it would have got below this, rejected on it, then 210 would have became our bias. But until that happened, it didn't happen, so our bias is it's going to gravitate up here to this monster liquidity here at 230. So zooming back in here. So now we know where our major liquidity at. Now we have our North Star, so to say, and we know that they want to get up to 230. Another beautiful thing here that they did, they push up. Again, remember, this is a powerful secret to remember. There is always major liquidity on every $5 increment. Okay? So even if you don't see a lot, just understand there's going to be major liquidity on every $5 increment. Okay, so just remember that. So for example here, you don't see a lot of liquidity here on 220. Okay, but at the same time, we know that there's liquidity. So what do? They push through, and we know that whenever we're looking for momentum, our momentum strategy, we're looking for a push through major liquidity. Again, we know that's at $5 and $10 increments. We're looking for, if you really want to be again, if you're somebody that really wants to play momentum, you want to play with the flow, okay? Play with the trend. Well, you need to understand and start identifying where are my $5 increments, okay? Because when you can identify those and you can see the what sets up for our momentum strategy, oh my goodness, you can catch some big old moves. So prime example here, 220, we know that's major liquidity. All right, so we have to see it, one, push through it, and then come back and show support on it. So what did it do here? Tell you what, let's move this down. Okay, we're on the 1 minute so we can see a little bit more detail. So right here's 220, pushes through up to 221. What do? They come back, pull back on 220, bam, blast back off, head straight back up to 221, and then break above that, bam. That is our one of our three strategies is the momentum strategy, momentum at major liquidity. So you absorb it, you come back, you get support on it, bam. Where are they heading? They're heading to the next major level of liquidity. In this case, we know it's 225. All right, so what do? They get up to 225, 220, because again, we still know they want to get to 230. That's our North Star. Okay, so they get to 225. All right. From there, they push through $1. Again, we took advantage of this. We knew if they push through on 226. All right, so our push through strategy, the PTS, whenever what happens is you get to a major liquidity. In this case, 225, they push through, they come back, and they got to come back and test the major liquidity. Same thing they did down here at 220. They push through. It's usually on average $1, and then they got to come back and they got to retest the major liquidity, and then they have the confirmation that they can move to the next level. If they do not come back and retest, then you know it's guaranteed. Like they 1000% have to come back to that level if they do not come back and retest it. So when they left 220 here, we know that hey, they don't have to come back to 220 now. They've retested. They can easily come up here, start heading up here, and they can spend the rest of the day between 225 and 230. Okay. Now, when they get to 225 here, they do the same thing. Push through it, $1, free money back to here. We played that free money. We'll take that. We'll take that free dollar. Okay. All right. And then from there, what do you get? Wick, blast off. What is this telling us? They want to finish their goal of getting to the major liquidity, which in this case is 230. So they get up to here around 229 or 228. They dump it back to 220, because again, every time you start getting a significant pullback, where are they going to pull it back to? They're going to want to pull it back to the major liquidity that they push through. Okay, so again, they pull back, support off of it. Where do they want to go? They want to get to 230, and that's why our entry today was for 230 to 231. All right, when I sent it out in the our entry channel, again, we had plenty of time to enter it because again, we were hoping it would get to 230 here, but they didn't. So they had to get here, pull it all the way back, and then finally they're able to get it up to 230. So this was our entry here from 230 to 231. Now, again, on our entry, when we have 230 to 231 as our entry, you got to understand, we are, our goal is to get in 15 to 20 cents in front of that, 15 to 25 cents. So in this case, 229.70, 229.80, that's where we're looking to, at least be getting half of this position filled. Okay, if they want to pop up to 231, give us some more, give us a little bit more fill there, give us a little bit better break even. That's fine. Because again, we know if they give a $1 push through up to 231, okay, it's going to be guaranteed money back to 230 because they have to retest it. But again, things to keep in mind with Tesla is another big thing with Tesla. Again, you can make a lot of money of Tesla if you know what you're doing. Okay, bookmap, our 3 powerful strategies to take advantage of it. Another secret on bookmap or with Tesla is once Tesla has run $30 or $10, before the pre-split it would be before they split it would be $30. $30 used to, before they split it, $30 was the sweet spot. Once Tesla runs $30 on average, they run out of gas. And they start coming back to the 25, the 20, the $25, the 20. So that's historical. That's extremely powerful to always have that in the back of your mind with Tesla. Now, because of the split, it's $10. Okay, instead of $30, now it's $10. When Tesla's run $10, it's going to start running out of jet fuel. So again, we had that on our side as well, and we knew that 230 was the monster liquidity. So everything lined up beautifully for the dump back to where? 225, 226. Hence the reason why I said, hey, very good idea. Started scaling out the 228s. Hey, very, very smart to hold some back for 225, 226. So sent that out with the trade alert, and then what proceeds to happen? We see they come down to in the 227s. They pop back up to 230. They want to come get a little bit more of this liquidity again. They do. They punch right back up there. Bam. And then, prime example here. A lot of people say, it absorbed the liquidity. That means it has to go up higher. No, it doesn't. The only way that you know that they're going higher is not because they absorb the liquidity. It's when they push through $1 through the liquidity. They come back, get support. Bam, they blast off of that. They break above that $1 high. Bam, that's your clear signal that they're going to keep going higher. So not just that they absorb the liquidity and it disappears. No. So with that said, they dump it all the way down to 225. They pop it a little bit back to 226, 224. We actually played this. This is the push through. Again, major liquidity at the $5 increment. What did they do? They pushed through $1. You better know I took advantage of that. Now, again, I didn't send it out to the play channels, but I mentioned it in the voice chat. Hey, we got our $1 push through on the major liquidity, 225, and we have some extra liquidity coming here at 223 to protect it. Yeah. Anyway, big blast off there up to 228. So with that said, beautiful money to be made on Tesla if you know what you're doing. So you should not have any fear of Tesla. Tesla is a gold mine if you know what you're doing. So let's also check into some other stuff that we took advantage of today. InPhase. Now InPhase came just short of our entry target in the play channel, but in voice chat, we found it. Somebody called it out, thankfully, when it was up here at 302. Now, why did we rush, or why did I rush, and why did I tell ones I am getting it in it immediately? As soon as I saw that it was up at 302, 303, I was in that thing on the spot. Okay. Now I sent it out for 305 to 306 because, again, I don't like sending out plays when it's, happening at that moment. I want to give people plenty of time to prepare, get ready, all that kind of stuff. You ain't ever going to see a situation with me where something is sent out after the fact. Everything comes out in advance, okay, in the two entry channels. Now in voice chat, yeah, I don't mind letting, hey man, somebody just called this out. I pulled it up, bam, hey, I'm jumping in this now, okay. But why was I jumping in InPhase, or jumping in the short on InPhase immediately? Well, for one thing, you look at InPhase to start the day. Where's all the major liquidity at? 300. So where's your bias towards? To the upside. So what do? They push right to it. So let's get on here on the dollar increments. Monster liquidity coming here at 300. They dump it just in front of that. They dump it back to 296. Quick dump there. And then what happens from there? They push back up. All right. Bam. They absorb the liquidity. There you go. They absorb the 300 liquidity. Now, what did they not do? They did not come back and retest the 300 liquidity. They pushed through $1.50, and they didn't come back. Now I know I have guaranteed money. So that's why we found it here around 302. Like I said, somebody called it out. We opened it up, sitting here at 302, 303, in it immediately. Because what I said it's free money back to 200, or it is free money back to 300. And what do you know? Bam, where did they come back? They finally come back and retest it. There you go, 300. They pop back up, and again, SPY starts dumping at this point. They dump it all the way back to 390 or 295. Now, another thing that we picked up on was, let's see here, was they blasted through a major algo. And again, if you don't know about algos, yeah, come to the server, got an indicator course, all that. Monster algos down at 291. And I told them, I said, there's a very good chance they're going to get this back to that monster algo back at 291 today. So, and sure enough, what ends up happening, they push it up again. Again, we shorted it in voice chat trading. We shorted it at 303 3 times. Now, I told him, I said, man, I was like, I need to hold a runner on this. But I was in several different things at once. And I was, that's the bad thing about having a server, honestly, where there's days where I'm like, God, I wish I was not taking the time to do this server, because yeah, I mean, it's hard to stay in things sometimes, because it's like, I can't watch everything because I'm doing talking, answering question, all this kind of stuff. So I don't want to be in a situation where, yeah. So anyway, so I didn't hold my runner. I wanted to hold a runner back to 291 algo. And where did they eventually dump it to? Right here at the algo. And once they get to it, bam, they bounce off of it multiple times. So anyway, so that was bad on my part. I should have just calculated it really quick. But like I said, this morning was, there was a lot going on. Another one that gave us some free money, Microsoft. Somebody called this out this morning. Again, would love these call outs when people are, again, learning the strategies, understanding things, and calling stuff out. Hey, again, they're not saying, hey, enter here, exit here. They're just saying, hey, check this out. And again, I go in, I check it out, see what's up. And then, hey, I tell them, hey, this is where, this is where the free money's at. This is where you want to check it out. This is where you want to get in, all that kind of stuff. So Microsoft, what do we see from Microsoft? Monster liquidity here at 230. They come down this morning, and that was monster liquidity, to say the least. They come down here, they blast off of it. They come back into it. Again, they start, blast off of it again, and then from there they start growing. When you see the liquidity start growing in one direction, that's when you know there's a lot of, in this case, a lot of buying coming in, or on the top side, a lot of selling coming in if they're doing it like that. So the problem is there was no major liquidity above. So when I see this monster liquidity below, okay, monster liquidity below, and then also more liquidity down here at 225. Again, let me look at all this major liquidity here. Look at all of this. Look at all of this major liquidity. Where is it all at? 200, 210, 220, 225, 230. This is not going to last. If I'm a swing trader, and this thing's popping up to 235 to 240, I'm like, throw the boat at it, shorten it, because it's not going to last. They're going to eventually pull this back to 230, and very high probability that they're going to bring this down to 220. I'm not saying it's going to happen today or next week, but eventually, again, this is the same thing that, for example, when Apple was up at 170, 180, and I said, hey, if you want a YOLO swing, look at all this monster liquidity on Apple down at 120, 130, 140, 150. I said, it's going back there. It ain't a matter of if Apple's going back there. It's when it's going back there. So bookmap, extremely powerful for swing traders as well. So where was the free money at on Microsoft? Well, we knew the $5 increments are always major liquidity, even if you can't see them. Again, you still have to recognize that, hey, there is major liquidity on that $5 increment. Now, what happens here? They're pushing. Again, all the major liquidities back here. There's nothing above, they finally started bringing in a little bit up here at 240, but this was really in here once it got up to this point. At this point, there was really not much there. So they punch through. Here's 235. What happens? They punch through and they don't come back and retest. So somebody calls this out and I see this and it's up here at 236 to 237. I said, guys, it's free money back to 235. Just like we had with the InPhase back to 300. I said, this is free money here. I was like, bam, I got opened up my puts. I'm like, hey, I'm in here. It's got to come back and test 235. I'm not saying it can't get to 240, but it has to come back and test 235 today. So with that said, where do we come back to? Came back, kissed 235 to the penny, got out of there, and then moved on to something else. So anyway, really appreciated the free money that Microsoft donated to us today. All right, what else did we take advantage of? All right, Netflix. So sent out the next Netflix entry as well today. Monster liquidity at 300. Now, in normal market conditions, we're focusing on the SML strategy, short at major liquidity. Okay, one, the momentum into the major liquidity, and then also to the short at major liquidity. Or if you're in the momentum, take your profit and then short. Now, why do you think we focused on 300? Look at that So again, it starts the day down here, what, at 288? Where's your bias at? Oh man, it's absolutely going to get to 300. I've been telling ones for the last, whatever this whole week. I'm like, hey, I was like, it's getting to 300. This is monster liquidity sucking into 300. I was like, it's not a matter of if, but when they're going to push into to 300. And when they do, we know we'll have some free money up there. So now, as far as also too, when you need to adjust your chart, you can adjust it based on a few different things. You can base it on the price, center up the price. None is for me just to be able to just move it anywhere I want to. But anyway, so with that said, we know 300 is the major liquidity. So we know that they're going to be pulling it off around 300. But again, we were already set up for, shorting the SPY at, 387. We were already in Tesla short all that. So again, we don't need to, it's one of those that we don't need to just keep compounding the same play. Because in essence, we know we're playing the overall market. And again, when SPY started dumping, everything started dumping. So yeah, it was one of those that, like I said, that's why I teach my traders, you got to understand what SPY is doing. It's leading the market. If you ignore it, you're going to, it's going to run you over. So with that said, the monster liquidity, the only time you can ignore SPY is whenever you have monster liquidity that you're playing the SML or the push through, the PTS push through strategy. That's the only time you can really ignore the overall market, because you know that they're going to pull back on those levels. They just have to. There's always going to be profit taking on those major levels of liquidity, whether it's the shorting right at them, the SML, or the $1 push through, and then they dump it. So anyway, in this case, they push it up to 298, dump it off of that. They push it back up to 298 again, dump it off. They finally get it up to 300 here, and then they dump it all the way back into the 297s. Now, again, we sent out the entry just because we had several other entries going on. I sent out the entry for 301 to 302. So, and again, why did I send that out? Because I'm like, well, if they push it up to 301 on the push through strategy, it's going to be guaranteed money back to 300. So, with that said, all right, in a situation like this, they do the SML, the short at major liquidity. They do that first. Okay, so the ideal situation on a PTS, a push through strategy, is they get to this 300 and they push straight up to 301. That's the textbook push through strategy. Okay, I lose confidence in the push through strategy. Okay, I lose some confidence in it after they've already done the SML, the short at major liquidity, in front of it. So in this case, they got to 300. Okay, now normal market conditions, and or if we wasn't already in several other things, absolutely 300 is a great spot to start this. And for some reason they do pop it up to 301, finish out, get in, double that position, get you a nice break even there at 350 cents for, a guaranteed pullback into 300. So, but in this situation, they dump it off. They dump it all the way back in the 297. So in a textbook scenario, especially at a $100 increment, yeah, I mean, that's free money there on the SML. Well, with that said, they come back up, they push through. Now they did push up into the 301 area, but what did they do? They still came back and retested 300. Now, there you go. There was still free money on the push through strategy. But the thing is, what did they do? They pushed right back up to 361. What does that tell you? They pushed right back above 361 and they started pushing through it, and they came back, got support. What does that tell you? They want to go to the next major level of liquidity. Again, this is the momentum strategy. $1 push through, come back, support. Where are they heading? Next major level of liquidity. Where was your next major level of liquidity? 305. What happened at 305? Let me guess. They got to 305 and they dumped it all the way back to 300. There you go. 305 came back, sucked right back into this monster 300 liquidity. Anytime you get around a major 300 or $100 increment of liquidity, oh man, yeah, especially after it's already pushed hard to get into it and it continues to push through it that day. Yeah, they're gonna have to bring it back and spend some time with it, for sure. So, with that said, that will do it for today's educational video. Usually do a little bit of SPY for members. Anyway, so we went over that in the live trading chat. The SPY, what is it? Because again, the strategies that we have to be able to take advantage of SPY ES are extremely powerful. For example, we have the most powerful price action strategy that exists, and I'm telling you, 99 out of 100 traders don't know about it. It's probably even a little bit more than that, 99 point. So again, it helps us make. Again, part of the reason why we were, entering a lot of this stuff today is because we knew SPY was getting up to a key level based on that price action strategy. And we knew that we were going to have some free money. So with that said, well, again, we don't have your average run of the mill server here, guys. This is next level stuff. Again, I didn't give it the name Precision Trader University. I didn't give that lightly. That is It's serious. If you're serious about learning how to scalp and day trade, literally one of the highest skills on planet Earth is the ability to scalp and day trade. Because again, you're talking about infinite, profitabilities. I mean, you really don't think that the best of the best are going to be, trying to partake in that, or the computers for the, the richest companies in the world, banks. I mean, of course. So again, it takes high level skills. So if you're not willing to learn high level skills, and again, all this basic stuff that people are doing, RSI, MACD, again, that junk is not going to work, over the long haul. You have to understand how to trade, how to take advantage of these computers and the computer trading that's going on. If you don't, honestly, I don't, again, that's why I created the Precision Indicator and Strategy Course 2.0 for scalping and day trading. It wasn't because, I just need to make money on some courses. No, not at all. It's because, hey, if you're serious about it, you got to know. you got to know what's in there. So again, I've never had one person get it and say, "Oh, you know, I knew, yeah, I already knew that stuff. I found that on YouTube." No, no, that's it's not never. I would never have that. I can assure you. Yeah. So about the only way somebody can go through the course and already, you know, and be familiar with, you know, have seen what's in there is if they've already went through the course before. But anyway, so with that said, thank you for taking the time to watch the video today, and hope this helped you. And if you have any questions, feel free to come over to the server and be more than happy to answer your questions there.